You ever wake up and realize your whole suburban dream just got hijacked overnight by someone who thinks a clipboard gives them a crown? Yeah, imagine opening your back door to find the HOA president's kids belly flopping in your pool at 7 a.m., acting like it's their personal water park popsicle sticks floating by the skimmer and towels left in a heap. So here's how I bulldozed my own pool, no joke, an actual excavator, just to see the look on Karen Grant's face when her little empire crumbled. You know what I mean? Sometimes if you want your peace, you gotta torch the whole castle and plant a Zen garden in the ashes. First thing I heard that morning wasn't the rumble of demolition. It was a banshee shriek, high and sharp enough to crack glass, coming from 3 doors down. Karen herself. Oak Creek's self-appointed queen storming across the lawn, hair wild face red. My wife Erin just slipped her arm through mine, squeezed, and watched the show with her coffee like it was opening night. Down below in the mud where my pool used to be, Karen standing there, shaking, finger-pointed, shouting, "You destroyed my children's summer," like their happiness was my full-time job. Meanwhile, the demo guys just lean on their shovels, soaking it in. I give them a nod, worth every penny of the don't ask, just show up fee. I hit her with my best good morning, lovely day routine just to twist the knife, and she starts speed dialing 911, screaming about community property and danger to minors. Cops show up cool as you please, scan my permits. Yeah, Karen. I do my paperwork and hand her a yellow slip for filing a false report. Watching her stomp off in heels, muttering about community assets, I knew we weren't done. Her eyes were already calculating the next move. That's the thing about HOA presidents, they don't stop at no. They only see it as a speed bump. But let me back up a sec. We bought this house on a prayer saving for years, picturing backyard BBQ swimming lessons for the future kids, maybe a hammock under the trees. For a year, it was perfect. I dug that pool with my own hands. Erin brought me lemonade. We felt like we'd made it. Then Karen wins the HOA presidency, and suddenly the mailbox fills with white envelopes about architectural committee approval. We're already halfway done, so I grovel. She plays nice, says just a formality, dear, and retroactively approves the pool. For 2 weeks, paradise. Then her boys find a gap in the fence, loosened, I'd realize later on purpose. And from there, it's open season. These kids would sneak over cannonballing before breakfast. Every time I tried to set a boundary, Karen's patronizing, "Oh, don't be such a stick in the mud. We're fostering community." Next thing I know, I'm getting fined for an unsecured swimming facility. Install a heavy-duty lock. More fines this time for impeding community access. She laughs in my face, quoting bylaws about shared amenities and features visible from other properties. My pool, my insurance, my blood, sweat, and chlorine, and suddenly it's a public works project. One Saturday, we come back from Costco and there's a full-blown HOA party in my yard. Chairs, banners, inflatable unicorns, a crowd of confused parents and kids splashing everywhere. Erin's jaw drops. I try to shut it down and Karen's son films me, probably hoping for a viral angry neighbor clip. Her board cronies unfurl a Community Aquatics Initiative banner and announce open swim hours like it's City Hall. Erin's quick fires back that a proper notice wasn't posted. None of the parents got the letter. The spell breaks, the crowd disperses, but Karen just hisses. Paperwork cuts deeper than knives. I realize she means it. So the war gets petty. She fines me for camera placement. I bill her for cleaning. She tickets me for backwashing the filter. I counter with a request for privacy. Then comes the fine that tips me over the edge, $250 for failure to promote aquatic fellowship. That's right. I got fined for my pool being lonely. At that point, Erin's done. This woman needs a lesson. So I spend a sleepless night reading the HOA rulebook cover to cover, highlighter and hand eyes burning, looking for a crack. Buried deep there it is. If the architectural committee doesn't respond to a change request in 30 days, it's considered approved. A loophole. The very next day, one of Karen's kids scrapes his knee in my yard. Karen storms in, screaming lawsuits, threatening to own my house. That's when I decide right then the pool has to go. Not just for revenge, but to protect my family from her insanity. I file the most mind-numbing, legally airtight change request of my life, proposing a low-water, eco-friendly Zen garden with rock-color codes and all mail it certified. 30 days of tension, Karen stalking the grass with a ruler, writing me up for turf height and aesthetically displeasing gnomes, but we don't slip. Neighbor Tom, the unofficial neighborhood lookout, helps keep tabs, calls me Eagle One over the phone, tells stories about past presidents, but says Karen's the worst he's seen. Finally, the deadline passes. No reply. My request by her own precious rules is approved. I call in the crew. The morning of demolition, the excavator's bucket hits something solid. Gus, the operator, finds a buried green metal box, old, heavy, anonymous. My gut says, don't call the cops. Karen will use the investigation to freeze everything. We haul it into the garage. That night, Aaron and I open it with shaking hands. Inside files, ledgers, ancient HOA documents, and at the bottom a plat map with my lot circled in red, annotated common area designation to be lost in final filing, bonus payment pending. Turns out Karen and her husband Richard, back when they were on the original HOA board, conspired with a city official to rezone a piece of public land, the land my house sits on, and sell it off for profit. We're staring at proof of fraud kickbacks and a decades-old land theft. If I go public, I could lose everything. My deed might not be worth the paper it's printed on. Karen's relentless fight to control my property. She was just hiding the crime. Now I've got the smoking gun, but if I pull the trigger, I blow up my own life. Aaron and I regroup. Instead of going nuclear, we quietly gather allies. Tom spreads the word, and one by one neighbors come to our garage, seeing for themselves the evidence of Karen's crimes. Phony invoices, kickbacks, stolen funds. We organize a coup. According to the bylaws, we can call an emergency meeting with enough signatures, and Karen never sees it coming. The night of the vote, the clubhouse is packed. Thunder outside. Tension inside. Karen shows up trying to seize control, but this time the room's with me. We lay out the evidence, watch the shock spread. When I reveal the land deal, Karen's mask cracks. The widow from the corner makes a motion to remove her. Tom seconds it. The vote is unanimous, except for Karen and her cronies, her power gone. She flees into the storm. Afterward, the new board pursues charges, the DA steps in, and the Grants are indicted for fraud and embezzlement. They take a plea, lose their home, and disappear. My deed is finally cleared. The neighbors stop living in fear, and we have our first real barbecue in years right beside my Zen garden. That gravel and those boulders are a monument to a battle fought and won, not just for me, but for everyone who just wanted to be left alone in their own backyard. So here's the thing. Sometimes doing what's right means taking a risk, reading the fine print and refusing to be bullied. If you've ever tangled with a petty tyrant or stood up for your peace, drop your story in the comments. Who do you think was more in the wrong, Karen, for starting it or me for finishing it? Where's the line between revenge and justice in a place called home?